Judgment Day has arrived. You're about to find out what we thought of Terminator Genisys. I'm Amy and you're watching The Briefcase. The fifth film in the science fiction franchise created by James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd over 30 years ago is fracturing its own timeline, providing a similar essence to the original. Kyle Reese goes back to save Sarah Connor and ultimately John. But things in 1984 aren't exactly as expected, as the taglines read, "New mission, new fate," and the rules have been reset. So in no way is this a reboot for those unfamiliar with the original. To clarify from the start, I thought it was a great film. The casting was superb, delivery of the lines was on point, there were really cool action sequences and tasteful laugh-out-loud moments.
I read about this on gunsandammo.com.
I mean, there weren't any points where I rolled my eyes, so that's a plus. And the core plot twist was awesome, even if it was exposed in the trailers.
John.
Hi, Mom.
What have they done to you?
Instead of an innocent, unsuspecting waitress, Sarah Connor is a kick-ass soldier prepared for her mission. From the age of 9, Sarah has been raised by a reprogrammed T-800, whom she calls Pops, whose sole purpose is to protect Sarah at all costs. A very strong emotional connection is displayed by Sarah towards the reprogrammed Terminator, which according to Reese's logic cannot be reciprocated. Certain behaviours that follow suggest otherwise. Because of time travel and the ability to change the future, there are different judgment dates throughout the franchise's history. This is the day Skynet becomes self-aware and decides to exterminate mankind. In Genisys, it's delayed until 2017, which should be after Sarah passed away if we were to follow the T3 storyline. As I said, the casting was superb. Jai Courtney is a rising star in Hollywood with the Divergent series, A Good Day to Die Hard, and Jack Reacher under his belt. His performance in this is energised. Australia's Jason Clarke was outstanding as John Connor, while Game of Thrones' Emilia Clarke provides great depth and femininity to the character of Sarah Connor, demonstrating that she can still kick butt even without her trusty dragons. Oh, and I nearly forgot, the big guy. It was great to see Arnie back in action. He was the glue that held it all together. And it wouldn't be a Terminator film without a rehash of classic quotes, plus a few new lines thrown in for good measure.
There is no tomorrow. No future. Machines will rule this world.
Not yet.
Load up.
With the goal of opening to a wider audience, I think the film did well, yet I understand if fans of the original were left feeling disappointed. Sadly, the film has received some pretty bad reviews, which were released prior to its domestic release. This, teamed with competition from Jurassic World and Inside Out, didn't make for a decent opening. Some may be annoyed that the backdrop switches from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Looking deeper into particular scenes and dialogue, some questions are raised about their plausibility. But hey, this is a Terminator film, let's not get bogged down in analysis. Looking at the franchise, the first two films received the most applause, no doubt owing to the James Cameron effect. And if you use Rotten Tomatoes as a gauge, you'll notice a sad, I wouldn't say decline, more like a plummet in ratings, from 100% and 93% for the first and its sequel respectively, to 70% for T3, followed by 33% for 2009's Terminator Salvation. It should probably come as no great surprise that the current flick is sitting at 27%. Another question we are left with, who sent the good Terminator back to protect Sarah Connor? In Terminator Judgment Day, we know John Connor sent one back to protect himself, but this now is decades earlier with a different future set. Was it another survivor of the Resistance with inside info perhaps? And where was the extreme violence? This isn't a game of tiddlywinks, bring back the R rating. It's been so long since I've seen the earlier Terminator films, so I saw this one in its own light. The absence of Arnie in Terminator Salvation means it's been 12 years since he donned the medal. It's too long to wait. Speaking of waiting, make sure you stay until the end. There's a mid-credit sequence paving the way for more sequels to this sequel. In summary, I don't get the hate. I really liked this movie. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Amy and you've been watching The Briefcase.
No doubt.
Terminator Genisys.
Where the hell were you?
Stuck in traffic.